Media Talk webinar series with me, Adebisi Adetunji. This is where we motivate and inspire ourselves as media professionals, whether you are a broadcast journalist or a print journalist working in TV, radio, the print, and of course the digital space in the current modern times that we found ourselves. And the whole idea is to challenge you to modify, to evolve, and grow, and not just remain on the same level. So every time I get to bring a colleague, doing something unique and different in the industry, so we can all learn from and become better at what we do. For me, it's all about getting ourselves to give visibility to what we do. I have a boss, or one of my bosses or supervisors always say, if you don't report it, if nobody knows about it, you are only winking in the dark. And a lot of us media professionals, we wink in the dark. We are doing so much great things as presenters, content creators, news anchors, writers, but nobody is seeing what you are doing. And you're wondering why you seem to just remain on one spot. Today, I have someone in the house. He is a brother. I met him. Before I met him, I and my husband, we used to listen on radio to his style of news presentation. I think in the afternoons, they call it bizarre news and all of that. And this gentleman, the way he would present it, it was like an out of the world kind of style. We all got to laugh while, following up on what is the latest update in the news. It was just a unique style. And since then, I was privileged to meet him at some point, and he's just a pure gentleman. I have in the house Adeniyi Kayode, popularly known as Afouda Samuel, doing very, very known for that comedy-like news style of presentation. Interestingly, Afouda Samuel is a trained legal practitioner turned media professional. He started out his journey in the media space as a stand-up comedy, media practitioners hosting him on their shows. And then he moved on to become a full-time, full-fledged presenter and production content creator on radio. And his show is one show that you need to just, stay hooked to and lean on. What's really, really, catches my attention with Afouda Samuel is that this is someone that joined the space as a legal practitioner, who has not only gone on to be a presenter on the station, to package content. He has gone on to create visibility for himself, such that he created and started the Primus Media Organization. He is the managing director and CEO of Primus Media Organization, where he trained people who want to make success or take on a career in the media space. And not just that, the one that amazes me is that he has gone on to expand, such that he organizes a yearly show where media practitioners are celebrated and given awards. I think it's just a long and huge shot. Let me make welcome Afouda Samuel. You're welcome to Media Talks.
Thank you so much, man. It's my pleasure to join you. It's a rare privilege, and I've not taken it for granted. Thank you so much for deeming it fit to invite me. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you have done so well for yourself. It's amazing how somebody that didn't start out as a media practitioner is doing bigger things than those of us that said we were trained and we are practitioners. We are winking in the dark, and the people that are learning from us have gone on ahead. People like you that learned from us have gone on ahead to do even bigger things than we are willing to do. Not because we cannot do it. It's such an interesting concept for me. So you are here to teach us some of your secrets. This is all about how to market our skills and our talent as media professionals. But let me start with, what how did you make that 360-degree turnaround from a legal practitioner, a lawyer, to becoming a media practitioner? Was it something you had always wanted to do?
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do. I fell in love with radio a long time ago. I fell in love with radio immediately after my O levels, while waiting for JAMB and waiting for admission. That was when I
Really?
fell in love with radio. So, but then my love for legal practice was still very strong. So I was still hoping to be a lawyer. So I gained admission to UI in 2005 to study law. And trust me, within my first year in the faculty, 25 to 2006, 2005, 2006, I lost interest in becoming
A
a
lawyer.
lawyer. In fact,
Was 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 law was
I can
law
say I
your
lost.
parents was law your parents' dream for
No,
you, or was your
not,
personal?
not at all. My parents would have loved me to be a medical doctor.
Oh
They
wow.
would have loved me to be a medical doctor. So I am a kind of person that is quite decisive. I can be quite decisive. I remember that I've always mounted being a doctor for a long time. Then when I was in GSS3, I had a journey to Lagos. I was born and raised in Kwara. So we traveled to Lagos like a vacation. When you're going to Lagos like this, it's like it's a big deal. So I traveled to Lagos for my long vacation break. And then I watched the program on AIT, it was Kakaki, and they brought a lawyer. And the guy, the way he was dressed, the way he speaks, and everything, I was just swayed. I fell in love with becoming a lawyer. So,
Yeah.
so when I got back home to resume SS1, I told my parents I was going to arts class rather than science class, and they were surprised. They said, "You wanted to be a doctor?" I said, "No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to become a lawyer." And they said, "No, no, no, no." My dad tried to persuade me, did all he could, said, "You don't have many chances, many opportunities or options in arts class. But when you're in science class, you can be a doctor, you can be this." I said, "No, I want to be a lawyer." And that was it. So law was my own thing. So, but like I said, when I wrote down the first time, yes, I passed, but then it was not enough to get me into to study law in UI. I had to write jam again the second time. And by the second, while I was waiting for the second time, I fell in love with radio. And I was
Oh
gradually
wow.
losing interest. I was gradually losing interest in law. But then it became difficult for me to mount that, to tell anybody that I don't want to go for that to study law. That has kept me, because they tried to do everything to persuade me when I wrote my first jam, and they offered me philosophy. I said no, I wanted law. So I know my parents could have been like, if you knew that you are going to change your mind again, why didn't you go for that philosophy in the first place? So I could not tell anybody. I fell in love with the radio. I was listening to it. I was enjoying radio, but then I couldn't back out. So I gained admission to study law, and ever since then, since I entered UI, I've always wanted to do more. Even though for my 100 level days, I couldn't do anything. So, but then the chance came for me. 2006, I realized that I just need to start something. And that was what gave birth to me venturing into stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy was for me an opportunity to get closer to the radio, an opportunity for me to start doing something for myself. So I sing at some point, but then I feel like, okay, stand-up comedy is it for me, because that one is actually cheaper for me to execute. I don't need a demo. I don't need to go to the studio. All I need is one mic and make the people laugh. So that was why I ventured into stand-up comedy in 2006.
So now, how long have you been practicing in the media space, and what would you say the journey has been like? What was your growth journey, and what are some of the challenges you faced?
Thank you so much. My very first contact with the media was in 2008. 2008, yes, that was when I joined Madhouse, Madhouse of Splash FM. Yes, as
Oh,
a stand-up comedian, they created a segment for me and a few of my colleagues, Laugh Line. We just come to crack jokes. 5 minutes in 2 hours. The program itself is 2 hours, so we just come in for 5 minutes and do our thing. Then after that, they say, okay, you guys, you anchor the calling segment, another 30 minutes, and that was how it grew from there to Diamond FM, where I had my own show, Stress
okay.
Buster. Stress Buster was also a 30 minutes weekly comedy show that was 2009, July 2009. And I did that in 2011 when I had to go to law school. And that was when I stopped at Diamond FM. So then I had a break from that 2011 till January 2014. Because
Yeah.
2011, 2012, I was in law school. 2012, 2013, I was serving. Then 2014 January, it was immediately after my service, I joined Space FM as also as a stringer. I joined Space FM, and it was at Space FM that I moved from just comedy shows to newspaper reviews, political program, law program, a whole lot of shows. And that was where I could say that the journey really began. But like I said, my first contact was in 2008, but my real journey that, yes, I started in 2014. And that is exactly 10 years ago.
Wow, 10 years already.
Yes, like I said, I started fully. But if I want to count all those other ones, that should be another 15, 16 years or thereabout. So, but that has been the story. But the journey has not been smooth. And one of the regretful things that I have is that I wish I knew a lot of things about the industry before I joined. I was just joining from the place of I want to be famous. I want people to know me.
You wanted people to hear you speak on radio.
Exactly. And that was all that matters to me for the very first few years. How I wish I knew better. How I wish I was strategic. But I was not strategic. For me, just give me anything. I know I can do it. Just tell me what you want me to do, and I will find a way around it. Like I said,
so for me listening to you, there's what you call freelancing in the media space. Even if you had studied mass communication, one of my experiences is that people that come for internship when I was still with Radio Nigeria, right? People that we mentored, that you studied mass communication does not mean you understand how the media industry works. So oftentimes we find out that when you studied mass communication, you have to come to learn from the bottom top upwards, right? And that's why a lot of times people are encouraged to freelance. And you discover that it's like learning work, as we say. You are learning, a job, how to do something. And for me, listening to you, moving from one station to the other, you actually started presenting. You started out on radio, presenting even while you were in school, while you were studying law. So what you were doing for me at that time was very, very important to where you are now. Because what you were doing was you were freestyling, you were freelancing, you were learning. And that is very important. That's a very important aspect of the media industry that a number of people maybe in recent times do not understand the power, the importance of freelancing, learning from top upward, learning, being mentored, which is why you are doing a lot of things that those that have been practicing for a long time are not able to do, because you open up yourself to a lot of versatility. You had the opportunity to move around different stations with different house styles. And so that informed some of the things you now know. So I think you shouldn't be regretting. I think it was a good, fantastic start out for you in the industry that a lot of people were not privileged to have that.
Thank you so much. To buttress what you just said, I remember at Diamond FM, I started out to be I always want to be on radio. So I wanted to be a DCA. That was what the style we were using at Diamond FM. I wanted to be a DCA. Then I was to audition with our director then, Dr. Luisa Basianda. And after listening to me for a while, she said, I'm not quite impressed with your English. I cannot make you a DCA. Say, I will give you, since you said you've done comedy before at Splash, let me give you a comedy show. So you are need to go and understudy people. So I stayed there for close to 6 months, understudying different people. In fact, we were like a batch of volunteers. At some point, they absorbed all of us, but they didn't give us shows. So at the end of the day, almost everybody left from my batch except myself. So the day she just stumbled in, she just came into the studio and said, "Who is this guy?" I said, "No stranger in the studio." They said, "No, it's one of our volunteers." I said, "Do we still have any of them around?" They said, "This guy has been very consistent." Say, "Wow, what's your name? What do you do?" Say, "Okay, I think I've heard you before on Splash. You want to do a comedy show? Let me give you the chance." And then she gave me that 30 minutes. Said, "It has to be recorded because I'm not sure of your English. It has to be recorded. It has to be this. It has to be comedy, and try to do it in pidgin." And that was how I started with pidgin. Because I wanted to do English. And that was how I started out with pidgin. And then I realized that over the years, I started reading about pidgin to now understand pidgin better, because people tell me that my kind of pidgin English is different, and
Is
it's the fact
Yoruba
that
nice?
exactly, because I got to realize that pidgin is an hybrid of the lingua franca and the local dialect. But an
Yeah.
average Nigerian believes pidgin is for the South. No, because when you go to Liberia, go to other Gambia, other African countries where there is no South, they speak pidgin too. So
Oh
that
wow.
means, and it's an hybrid of their own lingua franca, their official language, and their local dialect. So that's exactly what I did. So that is why if I'm speaking my own pidgin in Ibadan, an average Ibadan person prefers my pidgin because they could relate better with it, because it has a lot of Yoruba in it than a Wafi guy. They may not understand, they may not be able to understand half of what a Wafi guy is saying, because a Wari guy will put his own dialect with English and they may not understand it. So I got to understand all these things and I put it into my presentation, and surprisingly, to the glory of God, it was accepted.
That
People
was
really
the
loved it.
sell. That was the sell, and people just loved you and
People
your
just love
audience
it. Ah,
too.
this guy. People tell me that your pidgin is different. I feel better. I feel more comfortable with you speaking pidgin. I think I enjoy your pidgin. I can understand even those that are not educated, that could not really speak English. They don't find it difficult to relate with whatever I'm saying in pidgin, because, like I said, it has a lot of Yoruba in it. I'm not sure if I go to if I should relocate to a place in South. I'm not sure I will have the same effect, except for the Yorubas that are living there. They may not, I'm not sure it will be, but then I've come to realize that you have to be flexible. This I'm in Ibadan. And of course, this is what the people of Ibadan want. I should be able to give it to them. So that is
So
how
that
I
speaks
created my
to
style.
this speaks to originality,
Yeah.
understanding your audience, your
Yes, sir.
intended target audience. So your
Mhm.
audience is not in the southeast, your audience is in the southwest. And
Yes.
if your audience cannot connect with what you're doing, your presentation style, then you're not going to be able to amplify what you do or grow your audience. So I think what I'm hearing from what you're saying is originality and target audience. And that's a very, very big sell for anyone looking to, make it and succeed in the industry. It is why you
Mhm.
are selling. So there's nothing to be ashamed. You talked about English, speaking the English language was not your comfort zone in terms of what is expected of duty continuity announcers, that is, hosts of people that host and man a whole
Yeah.
segment of shift, run a shift as a presenter that handles a whole segment of shift. So it's important you find yourself, and that's
Mm.
something I want us to also take away. Find yourself as a media practitioner and professional. All of us will not speak Queen's English. If you are good
Mm.
in Queen's English, be a good newscaster or newsreader. Fantastic. A voiceover artist. In fact, there are all kinds of voiceover artists. Those that are doing pidgin, those that are doing Yoruba, those that are
Yeah.
doing the language, those that are doing pidgin. So find your niche, and I think that's one of your secrets. You've been able
Mhm.
to find your niche, and you've been able to carve it, and that's why you are amplifying and growing. Which brings me to my next question. What inspired you to start the Primus Media organization? I mean, I met you when you were, like training people, and I was wondering, what is this guy doing? He did not even study mass communication. What exactly is he doing? But I admired the fact that you were daring, you had a vision, you had a goal, you just wanted other people to learn, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
instead of just going to practice anyhow, like you started out. So
Mm.
again, tell us what inspired you to start, the Primus Media organization.
Thank you so much, man. So it was in 2017. 2017, I was at Lagelu then. I was at Lagelu. Then I just realized that maybe because of how my personality, my kind of personality, that I'm very accessible. I realized that daily or weekly, hardly will a week pass and I will not have 3, 4, 5 people walk up to me to say I want to study. I want to become a broadcaster. I want to become a presenter like you. I want to present program like you. So I would just advise them. See, brother, I think you can do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. And I advised the number of them, 1, 2, 3 people, and it worked for them. So I was like, okay, I can actually institutionalize this. Let's make it more like a career guide. So when we started out, we started in September 5, 2018. We started as Media Basics Academy.
Wow.
And what Media Basics was meant to do was that you are interested in media, come, let us advise you. So when people come around, as Media Basics, I borrowed a leaf from the normal GES when we were in school. We call it GES UI. I think other schools call
General
it
study.
General Studies, where they take you through the basics of all, and then expect you to now pick one that you will focus on. So
Specializing.
exactly. So at Media Basics, we take print journalism, we take radio, TV, social media, blogging. We just teach people a whole lot because many people are fantastic writers and they still feel that they want to present. So if you're a fantastic writer and you're not sure of your vocal, whatever delivery, why
Presentation
can't you go
skills.
into blogging? Why can't you go into blogging? Why can't you go into this? Why can't you go into that? Then we started advising people. So we had the first set, the second set, but we realized that even after that, 80% of them will still say, I think I'm now more convinced that I want to do radio. I think I'm more convinced that I am built for radio. Then they now ask, so where do we learn? And there was nowhere around then where I could turn them to, except for FRCN in
Training
Lagos,
school.
training school in Lagos. And so that is the only option that they have. Don't we have anything to do in Ibadan? Back then, I used to believe that for you to have a training school, you need license, you need to have all these things. So it was not even like, see, let me just be doing this media basic that I was doing. Then I stumbled online on BRMC, Broadcast Radio Masterclass by Fola Folayan in Lagos, a private radio personality too that organizes training for people. Like, so this thing is possible actually. That was how I said, okay, let's start. Okay, if you want to do radio, we can still teach you about it. But I know that I'm limited. And
Your
that's one of the
strength is in radio.
Yes, I know my strength is in radio, and I know that I don't know everything in radio because one of the things I do to myself is that I try not to lie to myself. And that, yes, I may be gifted in this thing, but I know that I don't know anything. So that was why I said, okay, what are the courses? And as a matter of fact, I researched FRCN training school, got their courses, and then I added mine to it. I added Yoruba, I added social media, I added to it, and then we create our own 6 weeks curriculum. Then I now look for people that I know that are professionals and they are good in their own right,
in those areas.
And I approach them. I remember that was what brought me to you back then, for you to come and take scripting at the academy. And yes. I approached a lot of people like that I know that they are professionals in the field. Can you please help us take this class? Can you please help us take this class? And surprisingly, and that's one thing that I must give people in the media kudos for, maybe people that have been able to identify, though, they see beyond in fact, they are willing, they are ready, they are eager, they are happy, they are excited to share what they know.
To give back and
exactly,
share.
Because we don't even have the financial muscle to say we want to start paying all the professionals that we are gathering, but to just make them understand that, see, we will be transparent. And this is what we can do. When people come with we can have a sharing formula so that everybody gets paid, no matter how little, no matter how little. But then people don't. I realize that a lot of the people that I've been able to work with over the years, the money has never been their motivating factor.
They were just happy to support.
They are just happy to support and happy to share what they know. They are just excited to share their knowledge with people who are interested. Yes, I know that they always look out for people who are interested. If you have been in the media for a long time, like you are, I know you can bear witness to that people can walk up to you and say, I'm interested today, and tomorrow you know that this person is not really serious. So when a media practitioner sees someone who is ready and is willing and is excited to learn, they are also willing to share. And that was what we were able to do. Connect people who are willing to share with people who are willing to learn. And that is what we have been doing at Primus till date. So anytime you see any training at Primus, some of the training I attend them personally because I don't really know what it's all about. But I get
to you also attend to learn.
I also attend to learn, and I've learned a lot. But me as a moderator, they won't know I'm there to learn. They will know that I'm there. They think I'm there to moderate, but I'm also learning because we had a training early this year on media sales and marketing, and I got 3 different Mr. Otumba Bumi Otunuga. It was someone that I met in 2006 when I came to Radio Nigeria to make inquiries to start my own show. When I was in 200 level, I wanted to have my own radio show. I walked to Radio Nigeria to go and make inquiry, and someone directed me to the marketing department. And I met Otumba Bumi Otunuga, And he attended to me well, but the name stuck with me. 2010, 2022 or 2023. I just got a letter from one or two Olubunmi Otunuga that they want to honor me for on World Radio Day. I said, wow, this man. So I was eager to quickly call him. He cannot even remember me. Unfortunately, he did, because I don't how many people walk up to him back in those days that he must have put through and shared stuff with them. So he did not even remember. That's why I came to you at Radio Nigeria in 2006. And then you gave me the deal and everything, but I could not. So I had to go and look for sponsors. I couldn't get sponsors and they did not come back. But I remembered his name. And thankfully, like I said, our paths crossed again. And when we had our training on media sales and marketing this year, he was one of our facilitators. We brought people from agencies, media agencies in Lagos. And like I said, I did not pay. I was the facilitator, so I was there as the moderator, but I learned a lot from that particular training. So that has been the style at Primus. We just get people who knows far more than we do to come and facilitate this training, and bring people who are willing to learn from them. And since then, Primus has been growing. We started with the academy. So after a while, we just realized that we're teaching people about this thing. Show them that it is possible. Because like I said, most of these teachings open my own eyes to a lot of these things, to blogging.
Yeah.
So blogging could be this. If you have a niche, since I'm interested in media, that was how we start Primus Media blog. So okay, I want to give practical example to my students that blogging is a big thing, and how it's done. And then we started Primus Media blog. I said, okay, let's make our niche media, since we are in media. And then we realized that has been a gap for a very long time. Reporters have been reporting everybody, nobody is reporting them. So we brought out by Primus Media blog, reporting the reporters. And in fact, the blog almost took over the academy. If not for the grace of focus, we at some point it's like we should just focus on this blog, because the industry
it's really attracting more attention
exactly. It's attracting more attention. But then everything now starts linking, because with the blog, the academy became more influential.
Yeah.
We had relationship with organizations, and then our students were getting placement, we're getting visibility. We need to now have the grace to say, okay, we are sending 1 or 2 of our students to you for IT, we are sending 3 to you for.
So you became like a credible platform.
Yeah. Exactly. And at the end of the day, after the IT, they retain 1 or 2 of them, they will employ them, and we're able to use that to also promote the academy. That when we train you and we say you stand a good chance of getting employed. So, exactly. So the academy now became linked to the blog, and both of them were together. At some point, we felt like, okay, what else can we do? From the blog, how do we package? Many people don't have the time or the chance to say they want to sit down and read online. Let's package it for them monthly. And that was what gave birth to our magazine. So most of our posts on the blog that has done well over the month, we compile them, just include 1 or 2 more personality interviews, and we have our e-magazine that we release monthly, and that has been on. I think we just had our 39th issue last month.
Fantastic. 39 already.
Yes, for over 2 years now we've been running, having our monthly magazine. Then from there, we just realized that our students that we have trained, that they are in many of these organizations, we just need to validate them. We just need to let them know that you are visible and you are doing well, because a lot of awards tend to focus on the made presenters,
the already existing people that have been practicing for a long
time. Yes. So sometimes most of these young ones, they try, and when they try, they still put them in the same category. Just imagine putting someone that is just a year old in the industry in the same category of let's say best newscaster with someone that has been doing it for 25 years. He or she stands no chance.
No chance. Yes.
So that's why we say, okay, let's start something. And that was what gave birth to Primus Media Awards. Primus Media Awards is for young broadcasters between age 21 to 30.
Oh. So some of us are out of it.
Exactly. So
you have ruled out some of us. This is not fair.
Exactly. All the veterans, let's just leave them out and let's focus on these young ones. Let them know that in your own little space you are doing well, and we recognize you, we appreciate you, and you can do better. And that was what gave birth to Primus Media Awards. So we start bringing the awards, and then we say, okay, we did the first edition of the award was Ibadan. After that, we got calls from outside Ibadan. It's Ibadan, the only city in Oyo State. We have
We are
stations
going to
everywhere.
bring it elsewhere to our own state.
Exactly. So the second year, we said, okay, let's do Oyo State. And by the third year, it has to spread to the entire Southwest, because a lot of stations from the Southwest too, they are saying, why now?
They are not including us.
We are not including us. So now it's a Southwest thing. And then we now feel like, how can we now bring all these young ones across the board? One day, and all of them travels down to Ibadan to come and receive plaque and for merriment and award. No, it's an opportunity for them to learn. And that was what gave birth to the conference. That let's use that opportunity. So when they come in the morning, there's a conference where they learn. And in the evening, we can now do our awards and everybody go back to their homes. So that gave birth to Primus Media Conference in the morning, Primus Media Awards in the evening. And then we have
I mean, this is so good. I love what I'm hearing. This is so good. When you have an idea, you run with it. So from just you saw a need, and you started the basic media training, and then it dovetailed into Primus Media, and then it dovetailed into blogging, and then it dovetailed into an academy, and then it dovetailed into an award, and then it dovetailed into a conference, and then you have this 39 issue Primus Media magazine. That is so good, and an excellent staying power. You have it's a gift. I think you have a staying power to go through with your ideas, and as it evolves, you run with it. That is just so good, and I celebrate you and your team for what you have been able to do. This is just so heartwarming and stuff so good. Which brings me, don't go away if you have gotten to this point on Media Talks for today. This brings us to how to market. Because again, all of these things comes with some form of resources. You need resources, you need financial resources, you need human resources. Some of it, the human resource you have been able to do with networking. That's what you have done. You've networked, and you have been able to leverage on other people to run with your dreams. So again, that's also something I want people to take away. You must learn to leverage on other people's skills and talents. You must leverage on your network. If you're not building any network, you will not get anybody that will support you in whatever you are. Brings us to marketing what you do. How do we market? The marketing side of our skills, the marketing side of the media space. Tell us, what is the secret to yours? Just educate us on how we can market our talents, our skills, our media career as media professionals. Because again, that is what gets people frustrated. You want to start new ideas, you're afraid there's no money, or this is what I can do, I'm not getting enough remuneration. So just share with us.
For marketing, one of the things that have really helped me is collaboration. One of the things that really helped me is collaboration. I collaborate a lot, and I'm always open to collaboration. I'm not scared of asking for collaboration. I got to that point and I realized that some of the time it will be no, it will be yes. So I will ask either way. For example, the conference we've had, I'm not sure, we have never had anybody come on the conference to say, this is how much you must pay me. Because most of them are senior colleagues, and when we talk to them, this is the reason why we are doing this conference. This is what there is. In fact, they are willing, like I said, they travel down from wherever they are to come and share for free. So our cost, because marketing for me is not just about making money, it's also about reducing your cost. So with that, we've been able to reduce our costs. We've had people who have billed us to say, okay, you must pay me this also amount of money. But since we don't have the resources at hand, we know that we just have to look elsewhere. And thankfully, there are so many people else. yeah, there's so many people elsewhere that will do it. And of course, maybe one day very soon we'll have money. I'll be able to pay those people. It will happen very soon. So marketing is connection, networking, collaboration, partnership, and a lot of social media. A lot of social media. One of the best times we've ever had at the academy was a particular year I took a bold step. I obtained a loan, and we had billboards in town.
Wow.
And when we had that, when
publicity.
We had those, yes, for publicity, we had billboards, and then I think that still remains one of the best academic session we've ever had. We had a very good number. We have a very good number. And then because of the success of that, we were motivated to do more. Then the following session, we did another set. No results.
No results from the same
From the
billboard.
same strategy, the same whatever, the same company, as a matter of fact. But what they said then is because of the location, the location of the billboards were not that good like the first one. So okay, maybe that's the reason. And then we moved again, and then we moved to another company after like a year. We tried it with another company again, paid for 3 billboards, no result at the same time.
Oh wow.
So at that point, I said, like, this billboard is not going to work again.
It's not working.
Let's stop it. So we've had times when we invest heavily in publicity and it did not work. There was also a time was another time I still took a loan, and we bought half bundle on a radio station to advertise our media club. We have media, by the way, I have media club for secondary schools.
Oh, nice.
We have media club in secondary
Catch
school.
them,
So it's just like an improvement on the traditional press club. We had some other things to it, and we have it in secondary schools. And we so much believed in it because we tried it with 1 school, 2 schools, and we see that it's working. So it's like, man, a new session is starting. This is the time for us to. So we recorded a very beautiful jingle and got money to buy a bundle. So they were playing it every time. We no get results. Not even one. We did not sign 1 school from the radio jingle. So at that point, I just realized that, see, this thing goes beyond. And then I realized that after all that is said and done, referral still remains the best publicity that we've enjoyed at Primus. Referrals. And that is why we always ensure that we make our students, we go all out to ensure that they succeed. Because I tell them, go to this station, ask for this person. Go to this station. Now we train now. Go here, is our student. And when people hear such stories, they really want to come. And when they can also, their friends ask them, where did you go?
Where did you get trained?
Where do you? Actually, we just finished school together so a few years back. You were not a radio person. How did this happen? And the person shares the story that I went to Primus. I say, hey, where is Primus? And they get our contact and they come down, and we realize that we have a lot of our students that way. And then there are some radio stations too, and some senior colleagues that they refer people. They refer people. When people come to them that I want to learn, we say, I know a place you can go to Primus, and that has been working. So that is why we are very big on building relationships and making sure that everybody that comes across, we give them a very wonderful experience.
You give them value for
exactly. That is the only thing that keeps bringing them. So anytime we move out to have all these other 2 days, 3 days training, most of the people that sign up for it, they are our ex-students. That okay, there's another opportunity to learn something again at Primus. They come back because they are happy with what they got the first time they came.
To scale up their learning.
Exactly. They're happy with what they got the first time they came. So that has been one of the things we've been doing. We try to do a lot of social media too, but social media is quite tricky. Social media is also a very wonderful platform. Okay. You just have to be able to dedicate a whole lot of time and studies to it to know how it works. So we use social media very well, and that's why I always encourage people to that social media sells. In fact, I got another. We are trying to overhaul the academy recently. We're trying to do a lot of things on the academy because recently, a particular popular figure by the name Adebisi, a chef, she organized a cooking class online, 35,000 naira. And she has over 5,000 people signed up for the class. Over 5,000 people. You know, as someone that runs an academy where we also do training, I was forced to sit down and calculate. And I was calculating over 200 million naira.
Yeah, she's selling with her brand as well. You need to build
exactly. So I just realized that a brand needs a face. A brand needs a face. A brand needs what's it called now? That credibility. People need to. So gone are the days when you say I'm a media practitioner. I just come in, I do my thing, and I go back home. Social media is your second office. Once you are not on air, you should find a way to build your social media. In fact, I think everybody now on radio, we are not. Everybody should see themselves as content creators. Yes, you may have a producer.
I agree.
You are now, whether you are producing, whether you are a newscaster, see yourself as a content creator and try to create content around that thing, always on your social media. There's a particular friend that I follow on social media. He works with channels. Kayode Okikiolu. Kayode has gone beyond just reading news or presenting political programs. He has found a clever way to create content on TikTok, on Instagram, around the news, around his niche, where that is what he's known for. So he can now say that it's no longer just a newscaster, he's also a content creator. So I think if all radio presenters can see themselves as content creators and they become an influencer in their niche, it becomes easy for them to sell anything that is related to that particular niche. So, but that content creation is not for the faint-hearted, because apart from the resilience, consistency is the vein, is the everything of content creation. Yeah. And you know, I tell people it is very easy to be consistent when you spend 3 hours recording, editing something, you put it up and you get 500, 1,000 views. You wake up the following day and do another one.
Do another one again.
But when you spend 3 hours filming, editing, you post and you get 2 views. It takes extra grace of God for you to wake up the following week and say, I want to create another one. You'll be like, am I not making sense? Is this thing not working? But the way social media works is that it is working. But even the way media works, not even social media. If a radio station comes to town now, if they like, let them spend 500 million on publicity. People will still not know them in the first few years. They will still have to stay for a long time before people get to
build their brand. Yeah.
People get used to their brand and people can now trust them to start doing business with them. So when people come in,
brand trust.
Yeah, so when people come in and they pull billboard and they do everything, you will still wait for your time. You cannot jump the process. You will still wait for your time. So no matter how good, how fantastic your idea is, how beautiful your content is, you will still have to wait for your time. There was a particular time I was a part of management briefly at 32 FM, and we had a meeting, and we were talking about programs that are not doing well. But I said, see, the program might not be doing well at the moment, but if you know that it has prospect, why can't you just leave it for some time? And I used the example of Your View on TVC. I'm a very big fan of Your View with the ladies. And I know for the first few years of Your View, they don't have one single advert. They just run it, but they believed in it and they kept at it. Now, even their Children's Day now was sponsored by multiple brands. They now have adverts, they now have events, they are now celebrities, all of them are doing well, and simply because they are able to stay consistent even when it is not working. I call it incubation period in media. I say incubation period is that period when you give your all for little or no results.
Incubation period is that period when you give your all for little or no
results. It takes the grace of God to scale through. Many people scale through because they have external sources, they have foreign support, they have someone that is motivating them by the timeline and that believes in them and that is investing in them. And for some people that are just rugged, that I will not quit, I will stay here. But because it is not, trust me, it happens in radio stations too. When you are a young guy working in a radio station and you are doing well, people like you, and they are loading you with programs with little or no money. So you have no transport, but you have to show up in the office every day. And your salary cannot even take you through every day, but you just have to show up. And that's where you see many young professionals, they start grumbling, say our guys, they are doing nothing. And they are giving them, we are the ones doing the job. Do the work now, because your guys who has done all the work when he was young.
And then again, you are building your brand. You are building your personal brand. One thing with media is that it has the ability to reward you.
Yes.
The presenter, the duty continuity announcer, the producer, even before the owners of the station.
Yes.
Yes. So because again, you are the face of the media organization. So if you do your due diligence, like you said, you put in the work, you pay your dues, like you said, and your incubation period, you walk through that incubation period, you work very hard and you keep at it. Very, very soon down the line, you are going to be celebrated, and your brand is going to blow, like we said in quote. I mean, Hilda, nobody knew Hilda. Maybe people in her niche or her network knew her. But when she had been doing what she's been doing, she's been cooking for only God knows how many years. And then just because she did that Guinness World Guinness, cooking competition or cooking that competition, she just, and it looks like she has been at it for years. No, she's been consistent, and something happened, an idea came up that she ran with, and today we own. So I really love, the thoughts that you have shared, and I've penned down a lot of things that talks about marketing. You need to collaborate. You need to reference, we do it for you. You need to do publicity. But when you do publicity, do trial and error. Know what is working and what is not working.
And what's not working.
So if something is not working, please go back to the drawing table and look at what can work. You also talk about network. You talk about brand credibility and trust. And one other thing, that this thing about social media, some of our colleagues are still playing. They are still not taking social media serious. And anybody that is going to remain relevant, I have been shouting. They say I'm shouting. I'm shouting, no. And I'm doing the little I can do for my own self. Because content creators are about to take over from the professionals. In fact, they've taken over. So if you say you say these people don't know what they are doing, you better bring what you know and join to learn what they are doing on social media. And like you said, make social media your second office. If you are a news reader, go beyond just the time is 7 o'clock or the federal government is blah, 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 blah. This is what is happening. Go beyond that to become a content creator. In your own niche, we will all not do the same thing. I absolutely love these thought lines. And these are takeaways even for me. I've learned a lot about your marketing skill. On a final note, what will you want to say to our colleagues in the industry?
It's very simple. It's what I tell myself every day, and I will keep telling them that see, greatness is cheap. Greatness is cheap. All you need to do is to be creative and be selfless. Is to be creative and be selfless. If you can be creative and can be selfless, you can put others ahead of yourself. It does not cost. One of the things that makes me happy is not that I don't have, sincerely speaking, when it comes to liquid cash, Primus does not really have money. We don't. We have our events coming up now. We are already struggling to get sponsors and everything. We don't have money, but we know one thing that is very sure: our future is bright.
Yeah,
we know our future is bright. I know how many of our students are already, they have started their media journey, and they are not going to stop anytime soon. It's a matter of time. They become DGs, they become GMs, they become this. At that time, we'll be balling.
And become your instructors too.
Exactly. Because that time we'll be balling because I cannot, when my students are there, if Primus have trainees and I send them there for IT or whatever, there's a job opening, I will make recommendations, Primus will make recommendations, and they will be considered. So I know that the future, by God's grace, is secured and everything. And that's because we have been able to do one thing. Money is not the motivation, even though that money is the ultimate goal. Money is not the motivation. Let me not say,
because you need money to achieve, but money should not be the starting point. You can actually
it should not
so
be.
much. I mean, who
Yes,
would have
you want to
thought
make
that
money, but you have to delay the gratification. You want to make money, but you also know that it's not now. It's not compulsory that you make the money now, because if you make it now, it may not be enough. So every good thing takes time to build.
Yeah.
Every good thing takes time to build. And if you can have that at the back of your mind, it will not be difficult to stay consistent. I wish I can tell myself this and I can hear this thing myself. That can you please be consistent? Every time I tell my wife I have an idea, I want to start, say, starting is not the problem. Oh. Will you be able to continue? That's the problem. Oh.
So one of the things I'm learning from John Maxwell's talents is never enough is, I mean, it's better to, the more you try new ideas, the meaning it shows that you are a risk taker. And risk takers are the ones that end up entering into greatness. They end up becoming celebrated. They end up, making more impact than they ever dreamed of. So what you are saying now, you are trying so many. Who could have believed that you don't even have money? Look at the things you said you listed that you do. You don't have the money to do them, but you're doing them. And you keep dreaming, you keep pursuing. And one day you will blow, like we say, and people will think that you arrived there in one day. So I just want to charge you and encourage you as well, and everyone watching this, that keep at it. Don't be afraid to try new ideas. As you try, you actually discover what is working and what is not working. And then you also discover many channels of expression. Like, it's the same media for you, but channels of expression, blogging, award, academic, it's the same gift. So as the more you use it, the more you discover different channels, different ways you can use the same gift. And then somehow if something is not working, you end up dropping it, and then you find what is working, and you find out that more than one will actually work. So you'll be able to say, okay, these 3 things are working, and you'll be able to expand and scale up in that thing. So I want to thank you so much, Afouda Samuel,
so much for having me.
Now this time to join me on Media Talks. It's my heart desire. Why I'm doing these Media Talks is just to see colleagues in the industry do better. We can do better in terms of doing things right. We can do better in terms of getting there, not lagging behind, losing out on the trends in the name of our old school. We can do better. The old school can learn from the new school can learn from the old school. It is in that coming together that the media space becomes more impactful and more, strategic, and just different to meet the digital trend, the way we are going now. So thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
The best in your journey, in your career, in your business, in your ideas. I see you actually, doing massive things. And I also look forward to collaborating with you as well. I have some things I'm putting together. So I'm going to be reaching out for us to collaborate. We can't do this thing alone. And the more we do it together, the more our platforms can be bigger. You bring your platform, I bring my platform. And we go for Media Practitioner that I work with. We have gone, if you are still on the table of I'm protecting what I know, we have left you. We have left you. You are the only one on that table. We have gone. The new media growth and space is collaboration is the way. Networking is the way. Gone are the days. This is our radio station. No, we just want to do it. Stations are now collaborating to do Children's Day. Before they will say it's only our station that we do it. It's only my program. People are collaborating because the more you collaborate, the bigger your platform becomes. The bigger your platform, the more you can achieve. So I just want to challenge you that are taking the time to come this far in this Media Talk series. You can do so much for yourself. Collaborate, network. Remember to make the social media your second office, as Afouda has advised us. And we see you at the top. See you on another edition of the Media Talk series with me, Adebisi Adetunji. I hope to continue to challenge you to be the best you can. I say we are going to the top together. I'm rooting for you. You can also find my book Undaunted on Amazon or Seller, where I chronicle my over 20 years experience in the media industry, and I'm definitely still on the journey of learning. There is no end to learn. Catch you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.